GM. GM. So, quick look at the current situation here. We broke down into the lows. It's broken down below 60, below the 59.5, which is kind of your last point of support. And it's consolidating in a compressing type of pattern, which would signal continuation to the downside. Such a strong downtrend that even with the two bounces, the 1 hour bands are still red and not able to flip to green. We had a retest of the 4 hour bands, which are still fully red. And so, despite being oversold on low time frames, which we are, you have to understand, obviously, though, a key feature of downtrends, right, is that you can remain oversold for quite a while as it continues to go down. So I'm looking at it on the lowest time frame here. Let's go just a 5-minute chart, or was it 15? 15. As I record now, we're seeing a bit of a consolidation above the moving average. So consolidating above the 50 EMA with the bands green. Potentially it's going to squeeze up, and if it does, I'm looking at the pivot. Right, if there's a push up here, I'm looking at that pivot. If that fails to flip, and that's also where the daily open is, where this dashed or dotted grey line is, that's where I'd expect the next downtrend to come from. Otherwise, if it loses this level here, I think it just goes straight down. So they're the two I'm looking at. Currently, I don't consider that we're going to go anything above that 58.3, that pivot level. I think that's as high as any push will go. I don't think it goes above the daily open. If it does, then that's another thing entirely, and we can see a move back towards this 59k liquidity point. You know, with the stops, there'll be plenty of people who've shorted this yesterday with stops up there. Will it be able to go and attack those? I don't think so. I think the sell-off is so strong that that's not going to happen. And none of this flips bullish until, I mean, at the very bare minimum, you need to see the 4 hour bands flip green, which they're a long way from doing. It'll move into them, consolidate, chop around, and then eventually flip them green. You're talking days away from that happening. So when you're in a downtrend, you've made new lows yet again, you're probably days away from even a 4 hour trend flipping. Best to just keep observing the market as it is, not for what you want it to be. I want a big rally too. I want to get balls long and fucking ride this thing up, but I still think we're quite a bit away from that. Market has to find a low, wherever that'll be, has to consolidate. There'll be chop in between, there'll be chop both sides, and I think until that point, patience, as I've been saying for a while, patience is necessary. So that's it. GM. See you later. We'll do altcoin requests today, 4 p.m. UTC. GM.